Yeah.
She's attacking me. Get away. I've already called the police. She's being.
They can come then.
Oh my God.
That's all right. They can come.
Oh, I called the police 10 minutes ago.
Okay, they'll be here.
I'm wearing blue shorts, blue denim shorts, and a white crop top. And this lady is being crazy. She literally just hit me with her fist. Crazy! Get away from me! She's being crazy! Leave! Do you see that? She's attacking me! Get away from me! I already called the police! She's being... Oh my God!
So I guess it's been a crazy couple last weeks for you.
Yeah, actually it has, which is so crazy because when it happened, like it's more crazy now, obviously, than it was like when it happened. So it's just a lot going on.
So take me back to that day. I want to ask you, can you describe the moment leading up to it and then kind of take me through what happened?
I mean, basically, so I have a husky and she's got a lot of energy, so I take her to the dog park for hours, like every day. And so I took her to the dog park and we're on the big side. She's a husky. And so the lady comes in with her small dog. And that's fine. People do that all the time. It's no issue. The park has rules like, if you want to bring your small dog over, it's at your own risk, right? Because that's the risk. And so I don't think anything of it. But then she gives her small dog a squeaky toy, and I'm thinking like, oh, this is probably not going to be good. We're at the dog park. I've seen dogs get into fights like that have had to be separated over squeaky toys, and I'm like, this is probably not going to be good. And so the second she gives her dog the ball, it squeaks it, and like every big dog that was on the side, like whips their head over to her, and they are like watching and trying to see where this noise is coming from, my dog included. So my dog, along with like two other dogs, run over there to see what's going on. My dog is like so sweet. She's never been into fights or anything. They joke about her being like the park princess because she's just like sweet and petite or whatever. And so, but she loves a squeaky toy. Like she is obsessed with squeaky toys. That is one thing that she's like, I give it to me. So my dog goes and she takes one of the squeaky toys. There was like three of them, I think, and my dog takes one of them. And I'm like, oh God. So I get up to go over there to take the ball from my dog, and once I like wrestle it out of her mouth, I hand it to the lady, and I'm like, here you go, here's your ball. And I even put my hand, how you're trying to come off as like gentle when you approach somebody with information so that they don't think you're like being like in their face. So I put my hands like to my chest, and I'm like, I said, I've seen dogs get into fights over squeaky toys, and your dog is so small. It's over here with bigger dogs. Like, I really don't want anything to happen to your dog. And then, I'm thinking she's just gonna be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. But she just like starts going crazy. Like, well, I know, she even says at one point, like, I know that other people's dogs get crazy over squeaky toys, but mine doesn't. And I don't say this to her, but I'm thinking in my head, if you know that other people's dogs get crazy over squeaky toys, why would you bring your small dog to the big dog side and hand it one? You know? That's what I'm thinking in my head, because that's putting your dog at risk. But when I see she didn't take it well, I just kind of back up and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, I didn't want you to think I was like telling you what to do or anything. I was like, that really was not my intention to like boss you around or whatever. I just didn't want anything to happen to your dog, like that was it. So I'm getting ready to turn to go. She starts screaming in my face, screaming and hollering. And I'm like, whoa, I've seen this story too many times where a white woman decides to just act belligerent and crazy, and the black person who literally didn't do anything wrong is suddenly the perpetrator or the aggressor or the problem. So I was like, I'm leaving. So you see at this point, like I grab my husky to leave, but she's like following me out and not letting me just walk away peacefully. And so if you can see in the video, there is another woman who's wearing jeans. I don't know her. I'm at the park by myself. I don't know anyone there. I've seen a couple people once or twice, you know, you go to the dog park, you see people, but I don't know anyone there. And this other white woman with jeans comes on over, and she starts addressing the lady who's screaming at me. And she goes, "You need to leave. You need to calm down. You're being crazy. You're being like belligerent. You're acting ridiculous." And that took me by surprise. I was like, "Oh," like she came to my defense, you know. I'm like, "Oh, wasn't expecting that." And she's like, "You're being ridiculous, crazy, whatever." So the lady who was then being aggressive with me turns to her, and she starts getting in her face. Like, I'm telling you, she's like maybe 2 inches away from this lady's face, and it's like her hands are balled up, like she's gonna start trying to hit this woman. And both of these women are older than me. Okay, first of all, and then I'm thinking, just by looking at them, the woman who came to my defense physically looked older than the woman who was attacking me. And so then my protective instincts came in, and I'm like, "You will not hit this woman." Like, right? Because she's so close to her face with her hands like balled in her fist. And I'm like, "You will not hit this woman." Because I'm like, this woman just came to protect me, and now this woman is going off on her. And so you see, I have my dog in my hand while I'm trying to like make sure that the woman who tried to defend me doesn't get hurt. And so I decide I'm going to call park security, because I know that park security will just come and make her leave. Like, they usually show up fast if there's an issue. They'll come and they'll just make the lady leave. So while I'm on the phone with park security with my dog in my hand, trying to make sure this lady doesn't get hit, this is when she turns her attention back to me. She reaches her hand up to hit me, and I block it. You see, I have my hand up, like I have my dog in one hand, but my other hand is up, and I like block it. And that's when I'm like, you can hear me say, I think that's when the people on the other side, the small dog side, that's when they start recording. And like, I'm noticing that they've pulled their phone out and they've started recording. And I'm also noticing that the park security, has at this point decided they're going to, on their personal phone, call the police. So park security doesn't even end up coming. So while all of this is going on, I'm thinking, I want to protect my dog, protect myself, but also defend the lady who came to my defense. And I'm on the phone with security. I'm realizing park security calls the police, and I'm just like, oh my God, like, you know, the big white dog, the Great Pyrenees, gets up, and even that dog starts barking at the lady because she's acting crazy. And you can even hear when she screams like, "Oh, I already called the police," because park security says, "I've called the police." That's when you can hear the guy who's recording going like, "Okay, good. Like, you're crazy. Like, the park security, like, the police need to come. Go ahead, call them." And that's when she starts like, I'm like basically defending her off with my arm up. My arm is up, and I realize at some point that, oh no, I'm dragging my dog behind me. I'm like, my poor sweet baby. So I release her and I let her go so she can get away from whatever is going on. And that's when I'm screaming, like, "Get away from me. Like, you're being crazy." Like I'm the keeping the attention like off of the woman who just tried like to defend me. And I'm like, "You're being crazy." I'm screaming out to make sure people can hear, like, she just hit me, you know? And so the lady on the phone, park security, she's describing also what's happening to the police. So like, I'm pretty sure they can hear me too, because the altercation was so loud. But I'm also thinking in my head, it would be too easy. It took a lot of control for me to not swing, to be honest. That was like, I can't, when they say your blood is boiling, like,
Yeah,
I was hot. I
I
was
believe it.
heated, like physically I was heated, and it was taking the amount of strength that it took me, because I'm also thinking, Oklahoma is open carry.
Hmm.
Like, for all I know, she has a gun in her purse. People don't think, like, it's easy to be like, "Oh, just hit him." Okay. And I hit her and she pulls out a gun. Or I hit her and she has a knife. Or I hit her and she attacks my dog, because you can hear her threatening my dog on camera. And I like that really would have like just set me off, and I'm like, I don't want anything bad to happen to her. And then I'm also thinking, you know, I'm not the one who called the police. So the
Mhm.
police will be coming into a situation where wouldn't it be just my luck that the moment I decide to swing is when the police show up and all they see is a black woman assaulting a white lady? You know? That's my thought process. Is it would be just my luck. I didn't even call the police, so they could come and just see me being the person who's getting physical. Like, police, and I'm thinking, the police have a history of not asking questions. Like, they'll just pull a gun. Whatever they see in the moment, they're just going to pull a gun. That's
Right.
all I could think. I'm not trying to go to jail. Like, I'm not trying to have the police pull up and pull a gun on me, so like handcuff me, throw me in the back of the car. And so all this time, I'm just like trying to walk away from her. So I want to make sure that if the police do show up, while she's still here, they see me as the one who's trying to get away. They make sure that they know in no way, shape, or form I'm the one who's aggressive in this scenario. And then at the end of the call, you can hear her screaming and yelling at both of us, me and that woman. And you can even hear her saying, the woman who helped me saying, and I didn't even know her, like, I would never just sit by and watch a friend get like something like this happen to a friend. And like, that was so sweet. I'm like, thank God, that was like so sweet. um, and then I get her picture before she drives off. I get a picture of her license plate and her like her car or whatever. And so, yeah, I mean, it was just kind of a really crazy experience. I can't say that that's the first time that, I've had, since I've moved to Oklahoma, that I've had something crazy like that happen. But yeah, that was a really crazy experience for sure.
So, did you ever see the police arrive on scene and ask
Yes.
questions?
Yes, so they arrived shortly after she left, like very shortly after she left. And you know, they I'm sorry, my dog is like crying over there, but they arrived shortly after she left. And they came in, and they were calm with me. But even something that like I haven't even said like in my comments or in my like video is that big white dog that stepped up to like yell, scream, like bark at that lady in my behalf. He was still barking when the cops came, and one of the police officers put his hand on a gun and was like telling the old man who was trying to get his dog, like, you need to get your dog, you need to get your dog, control your dog.
At a dog park.
Yes, and I'm like, y'all are five. It was like four or five big police officers dressed in black or dark blue or whatever, swarming the police thing, and this crazy thing already happened. The dog is already riled up, and you put your hand on your gun to like almost as if, hey, if your dog doesn't stop barking, I'm gonna shoot it. Like, and that's what they did to the dog. What do you think they were gonna do to me? When you know what I mean? Like. So I never said that in the like on TikTok or in like the comments or whatever, but like that happened, and I was the whole while that happened, I was like, oh my God, like please don't shoot this man's dog. Like that's what I'm like, the dog is just being a dog. But they took my statement. The people who were there were all like, yes, she's crazy. She's done this before at the park. Like this is not her first time that we've seen this behavior from this woman. They were like, we want her to be banned. They were asking if park security could ban her.
Mhm.
That never happened. They were like, as a matter of fact, I just talked to the lady. She texted me the day before yesterday and was like checking on me, the woman who took one of the videos, who was there, like, because we have each other's number now, and she texted me. Like what a coincidence that she would text me. It didn't have anything to do with like y'all posting it or whatever. And she's just like checking in and seeing how I'm doing. And she was like, I still haven't gone to that dog back to that dog park. I haven't been back to the dog park. She threatened me. I don't know this woman. I have not been back. That was in October. I used to go to that dog park every single day, and I haven't been back. And so, yeah, it's just kind of crazy. The police took my statement. And again, mind you, my intent originally was never even to involve the police. I called security. So once the police got there is when I was like, well, can I press charges? And they were like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, then that's what I would like to do. And then I believe I sent you the communication where that never happened. And then the more I thought about it, I'm like, this is not okay. Like, she cannot get away with this. So that's why I posted it, because I'm like, somebody will help me figure out who it is, you know. Yeah.
So a lot to unpack. I guess I'll start with Danny Widell or Danny Widell. Danielle Widell is her name. And over the past 2 days, I've gotten DMs from so many people in Tulsa, people who don't even live in Tulsa anymore, who said, yeah, she did this in 2015, she did this in 2020. And if you go to the state records, she has a rap sheet. I don't know if you know what her criminal history is, or if you were able to look at that. Um,
I did a little, but while all these messages are coming in, people have been like DMing me and saying who it is, but I've just never been the type of person to like accuse anyone of anything unless I know for a fact. So like even before you reached out to me and sent me that information, I had gotten like messages and DMs saying that that's who it was, but like I don't know for sure. So I'm not going to go online and go, this is who it is. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So I was just like, okay, like I appreciate you for telling me this, but I'm going to wait for like concrete,
yeah.
information to just, I don't want, you never want to just be blaming random people that could ruin someone's life.
No, absolutely. You're thinking like a journalist too. I mean, and so we have to get confirmation. And so I shared it with Tulsa Police. They confirmed who it was and that, she does have a record history. One of those uh, pieces of history is she had a protective order against her by this other lady and her kid. So she has a history of either assaulting or threatening or harassing people, not just other things, but specifically trying to go after people. And so they said that because she's a Muscogee Creek Nation citizen, the officers turned the case over to the tribe. But what I want to know is, did they contact you ever to let you know?
Nothing, nothing. That literally the emails, right? I did screenshot you and send you
Mhm.
emails, right? Well,
Yeah.
okay, so like literally that's it. What you have is it. That's it.
So basically, the city of Tulsa security, a couple of emails of them saying they're going to look into it and they're going to handle it, and then there's no follow up and nothing happens.
Yes, and then also with the police, oh, I'll follow up, and then it's me checking in, being like, hey, so, because like at minimum, like I'm like I want to know who it is so I can, if I, whatever I need to do, but nope, they just were like, and I saw where you said like, oh, it's the Muscogee Creek Nation, but I'm thinking like even if Tulsa PD felt like they couldn't do anything because of that, what would stop them from letting me know? How would I know that? You know what I mean?
No, there people responding to the news article were asking the same question. In other cases, they do try and handle it themselves, and so I don't know why they didn't tell you, and that's one of the things I'm trying to find out. I filed an open records request, and they said they're going to try and get that back to me next week. So there should be some body cam footage. And if they filed a report, there should be at least some type of incident report.
I
Because
feel like did I give that to you? I
well, you
gave
have
that.
the case number, so yes. So
Mm,
I shared that with him, and he said, "Thank you. This helps." And so I'm going to be trying to find out why they didn't reach it back out to you, and what else can still be done about it.
mhm. Okay, because that's what I would like. I would like that. Like, it's easy to say in the moment because of course, you saw the comments. Like,
I want to
you
ask you
saw how,
about that. What
yeah.
I guess did you expect those comments, and do you expect some of our own people to be saying some of those things? What was your reaction?
You know, as someone who is not well known enough to be canceled, I feel like no matter what I say, it's gonna have backlash because you can bring as much logic into something as you want. What I will say is, Because I really be trying to think about everything before I
Take your
say it.
time. Take your time.
um, I will say I had a lot of feelings. Okay, I will say that to me, multiple things are sad. It's sad to me that the world as a whole, but especially America, the United States of America, has beaten down and done so many terrible things to Black people as a whole that there's so much like rage and anger and vengeance and violence and you know what I mean, and aggression just innately in us that was placed there by so much trauma over the years that they can jump on a another Black woman who they don't know, who is actively not doing anything wrong in the video, and turn the focus from let's get help pushing this to the right people so the person who's doing the wrong thing
Mhm.
gets like justice is served in that sense. They turned it from that to let's attack the Black woman in the video and change the topic of not the assault but that she didn't react with that anger, and I don't have that anger in me, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't raised in an environment where like violence was even needed, you know what I mean? I wasn't raised in an environment where people were fighting. Like I had people in my comments saying they'd be happy to be in jail for teaching her a lesson, and I'm like, jail is not a vacation. Like that's exactly where they want you. You're saying you'll be happy to be in jail, and that's where they want you. Y'all are, that's where they want you, so I guess that's a win for them, you know what I mean? And like saying like I'd smile in my mugshot. Like the fact that like the world has put Black people in a position where that is even their mindset, you know what I mean? Is sad to me. Like I feel I have sadness
Mhm.
for that. That's really what I was thinking. And it's even more sad that it was when the comments were first flooding in, it was white people who were saying, that's terrible. No, no, how can we help? It's like, and I had people like saying, we revoke your Black card. And it's like, this is not a card that I want if this is how I'm being treated because I chose not to enact violence. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
so it was just very, I don't know. It was just very confusing. But I was like, you know what? If this is how they feel, that's how they feel. I can't help that. But your comments are just helping me get the story out. That's what I chalked it up to.
Now, I saw some comments. A few people were critical of the fact that we even reported, you know, the reaction that you got on TikTok, and some people were saying, well, those aren't real Black women; those were just bots, you
Oh
know.
no, they were. I checked some profiles. They were that like I of course they're always gonna be bots. And I did see some of those comments where like, oh no, it's bots, but no, like I don't know if you checked some of the profiles yourself. They were real Black women.
Mhm.
And so it was just like that's what I'm saying. Like that's so sad. I was not raised in an environment where yeah, my mom taught me told me to defend myself, but like I don't have rage is not my instinct. And even then, even if it is, I said in the beginning, you know how hard it was? Like I was getting hot. My physical body was getting hot. I was restraining. I was working to restrain myself, but that's what it takes. Like I'm not about to get so hot-headed that I don't stop and think about all the other scenarios. You know, when people say fluke accidents, like I remember there was a story about this guy who like two guys who got into a fight, fist fight, no weapons, and a fluke accident happened where one guy tripped and fell through a glass window and a shard went through his spine and he was paralyzed for the rest of his life. Like that's the type of things that run through my mind when I'm in situations like this. Not just I'm upset. I'm gonna teach her a lesson. She's a white woman. I'm Black. I'm gonna beat her up. Like, no, I think I don't want to have a fluke accident where I'm the one who ends up with the shard. stuck in my, I don't, I mean, stuck in my back and I'm paralyzed. Like those thoughts run through my head in situations like that. So it's like you can be happy going to jail all you want to or whatever. I even think about people saying something like, oh, well, we got your bail money. And people didn't like the fact that I brought up bad things that happened to but that they didn't like that. Well, you're not Trayvon Martin. Well, you're not Sonia Massey. Well, you're not. And I'm like,
And I
I'm
don't want to
thinking,
be.
exactly. And I'm not even that I don't want to be, but like, y'all can't stop and think like, okay, you could just go to jail. Well, what happened to Sandra Bland when she just went to jail? What happened? I don't remember his name, but I do remember a black man who got thrown in the police back of the police car and he ended up paralyzed.
Baltimore. Yeah.
Y'all like
Freddie Gray.
okay.
I think Freddie Gray.
Yeah, oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, that was his name. Like I'm capable of thinking about those things in those moments. I'm capable of thinking about so my mind like comes up with all these different like you know what I mean? And no, like I don't want to be that. I'm sorry. Like, oh, just go to jail. I'd be happy to be in jail. Okay. Okay. Well, my I don't have that in me. I don't have that in me. There's so many other ways besides just ending up in jail and somebody getting my like bail money that could have happened and like that's life is not for me. Okay? I know people now who don't have passports because legally based on criminal records, they can't.
Hmm.
And traveling out the country is like is what I need for my mental health. Like, I'm not risking it. No.